Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode. My guest today is Pontus Wåhlin. Hey Pontus, happy to meet you.
Christoph. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Hi. How's it going?
It's going good. It's hot.
It's really hot in Sweden, yeah. We spoke about that already. Just give me a short introduction of yourself. How's life at the moment? Where you're currently working? What is your position? Just give me a small little roundup.
Cool. Yeah, so my name is Pontus Wåhlin. I started in the industry 2007, coming out of school, a school called Playground Squad in Sweden. I got my first job at Starbreeze Studios, where I started on Riddick, and then a few years there I went over to MachineGames when they started, so very early in their journey. Worked on the Wolfenstein games, and then I got the opportunity to go to a sister studio called id Software, which has been like a childhood dream for me. So I was there from 2015 to end of 17, and got to work on Doom 2016, like their
cool
revision. Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah, that was really fun, and also some Quake Championship. Quake Champion.
So you then went to the States for this job?
Yeah, so we moved to Texas, where it was also very hot.
Okay.
It was very hot sometimes.
So you got used to it.
Yeah. No, but that was a really fun venture, both professionally and personally. Like living in the States, meeting a lot of people there, and like we talked about earlier, that the industry is very small. Like you meet a lot of people overseas that know people from forums or any kind of collabs on the internet, or other people who flew over. And then when I came back to MachineGames, because we wanted to go back due to family reasons, and coming back, it was nice seeing everyone that was there when I left, but the company had grown quite a lot for New Colossus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it was
big
fun.
Game.
Yeah, it was a big game compared to New Order. So when I was there for a few months, and then after the release of New Colossus, I got asked to help out being a lead due to my knowledge and I guess not seasoned, but the years in the industry and my know-how.
Yeah. You have been quite a long time in the industry.
Yeah.
When it started 2006, so you have been in the industry at that point for like 12 years, which is really, really long for that time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I remember when I started, we weren't that many people in Sweden that did game dev. But now it's grown quite a lot, which is fun. Like the projects are getting more and more like detailed. You need more people.
Yeah.
But with that in mind, they asked me if I could help out, which I did. And since 2018, mid, I was a lead.
You are a lead?
Yeah, lead prop / 3D artist. So my responsibility is like anything that's interactable with the player, like the player interacts with, like the weapons or anything in the world, gear, etc. Also vehicles and bigger hero assets, and preferably like hard surface stuff when it comes to the Wolfenstein series.
Nice.
And for indie, there was a lot of set dressing props as well, a lot.
Yeah.
So that was the latest game that we released.
So you live in Uppsala?
Yes, I do.
Nice. I have been there. I also was at the front door of MachineGames, but it was closed. It was due to COVID restrictions.
Oh, yeah.
It was 2022, I guess, yeah. I was there. It was after Christmas, so everyone was at holiday, so I guess it wasn't open.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful town. I really fell in love with the like it's so small and sweet, and yeah, with the river, and yeah,
I agree. No,
it's really beautiful.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the super big cities due to
Can understand
commute,
that.
etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one is super nice in that sense.
So how far away do you live from the? Can you go by bike or?
I can, but it's too that would be like a half an hour with a bike.
Oh,
roughly.
Okay. So you live a bit outside of Uppsala.
Yeah, 1 mile,
Okay.
Swedish mile. Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
I can imagine Swedish small villages. They are beautiful, and there you can really don't have any noise, and you can really slow down and live in peace.
Yeah. And now I'm actually
Nice.
at the cabin in our
the cabin.
hometown. Yeah.
Like from a movie,
Almost.
We watched lots of Michel from Lönneberger when I was a child. Yeah, it was super popular in Germany.
Yeah.
I'm always watching it on Christmas.
That's nice.
It's a Christmas tradition in Germany to watch it. Yeah, it's really, really cool.
But yeah, that's very picturesque Swedish housing.
Yeah, or Pippi Langstrumpf. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I finished Indiana Jones 2 days ago.
Oh.
And I'm currently going through all the trophies on all the super many collectibles you have, because I'm a trophy hunter and I want to get all the trophies in the game, and there are so many collectibles and small little things you need to find. So let's speak about the props, because they the levels are super cultivated with lots of different props. They're I would say 50 or 60 different items you can pick up and hit Nazis with. And so what do you how do you approach these props, and how do you approach the storytelling through the props that how do they fit in this world? Maybe what do you think about what props could be used for hitting people, or that could be used for picking up? So how's your whole approach to the props in the game?
When it comes to Indiana Jones, or most of the stuff that we do, we try to make them as contextual as possible. So we don't just have one thing that you can hit people. We try to if you're in Giza or if you're in Vatican, we try to have things that are contextual to that area, etc. And then when you have that kind of the base where they're supposed to be, you have to try to. It depends on the artist, how much you have to help them. But sometimes the things that you have to think about is who owns it, how old is it, what's the use for it, etc. Has it been used? Is it pristine? Is it old, etc. To convey the artistic, to make them so the storytelling goes through the prop itself.
Mm-hmm. So how do you start the whole process? Are you creating a list, or are you going going through Google Images? What could be possible for a prop that could be picked up by indie?
In that sense, it was a lot of imagination, because they came in fairly late, but they were a lot of them were actually built by the Welter. He was actually built a lot of them in the end, and he had a lot of freedom due to he's a very senior artist. He is. Yeah, he could manage to do a lot of them with his own thinking. But there were a lot of where they what kind of categories do we need, and he could follow through, which was super good.
Which is good for you, because you then can offload a whole packet of props, and he's like completely running through them, and you don't have to like feedback much because you
I know.
trust.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of the senior artists has like more like their craftsmanship is much higher than mine in areas. So like I trust to be able to run through the whole thing without me being too much macro. And that is something that I have to do, like trying to to have like 10 people working at the same pace. Like some seniority needs to pull more weight than others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. So, like, you already mentioned that you worked on Doom 2016, and you like have been a fully production artist back then, and now you're a lead artist. Like, how was the transition for you to like going away from down in the trenches and creating art to like being now a lead artist that has to like focus on other stuff like production, lots of meetings, calendars, and like organizing stuff. How was the transition for you? Like, was it easy, or was it like maybe a hard cut?
It was fairly easy in the beginning, because it was a lot of the stuff that I did at that time as well. Like, I don't have any problem talking to people, trying to convey the idea, or if we need something, I can talk to people to have my thing go through. Sometimes I might be pushy.
What do you mean with pushy?
Like I can stumble in and like, this is how we're gonna do it, or this is how I want it to be done. That I had to dial down a little bit, try to be more humble and like listen to what they think is best. And I think that is the better approach to have people grow, which is something that I learned after a while. Like, I don't want to be the one that has the definitive answer. I want to be more of like guiding them or helping them out to be a better artist. Because
but sometimes you have to, right?
Sure.
Sometimes you have to.
Of course, yeah. Especially if they're more like junior or newer, they need to be guided at a more lower stage. Like, this is how you're gonna do it. This is the better approach, etc. But when they become more senior, they're gonna reach a point where there's no one that can, like, this is how we're gonna do it. Then they need to have the tools to be able to do that themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, which is then good for both sides, because for a junior it's good to have more guidance, and for you it's good that you know he or she will do the thing how it's supposed to be done, right? Yeah.
So, but for I'm not sure if I answered, but in the beginning I had the idea of being 50-50, like in production, and then like manage or lead. That kind of shifted more towards manage, like review much more, being part of that process. But now I'm trying to take back more of the product, like building things more. Because one thing I noticed is that like if I'm away too much from the like building things, there's like new tools every other months, and it goes so fast, which is one of the like the fun things. Like, art and tech is part of like the game industry, and I need to be part of that more and like try out the tools, try out this is how it actually works, to be able to make decisions that is based or grounded in some kind of real production pipeline.
But do you have the time for that? Like, is it? It's easy for an artist to do that because you need to work with that, but you don't necessarily need to work with that. But your artists need to do that, right? Yeah. So how do you approach that? Are you like doing stuff on the side for private portfolio, or
I do, but I'm also not for portfolio, but more for myself. Yeah, but also I'm trying to snatch a few, like, or I'm doing a few props here and there to to be up to par to what's being done.
So that would have been my next question. Are you still are you still doing anything on, like, are you still doing a prop?
I am, but not 50%, I would say. Not 50%.
Okay. So it's more like 70-30.
Kind of.
Okay. Do you miss doing props?
I do. That's why.
Short and clear. Okay. So, what did you like learn in the process? Maybe do you, as you have been an artist yourself, how maybe you understand artists more? But so, what is something you wish you knew sooner? You already mentioned that you learned to not be that harsh. But is there anything else and that you would have learned or would have done differently when starting out as a lead?
Yeah. Then I kind of pivot the other way to be too nice. Which is also yeah, which is also you can for sure be nice, but you need to be, I guess, more direct or clear in how you communicate, and not thinking about the personal, like the individual per se, like how trying to be more objective in that sense. That they like, you can always be nice how you convey feedback, etc., but not try to tuck it in depending on how you think they would perceive it.
Yeah. So what I felt like when working together with other leads, the good leads are always like good communicators. Like they really they say one or two sentences and you directly understand what they want from you. So I feel like that's a really, really important skill for leads.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, communication is very, very key in that sense.
Not to speak around stuff, just go clear to the point, what is needed, and go ahead. But always keep it like respectful and always try to not be an asshole, right?
Yeah. No, never be an asshole. I think that would be it's bad for team morale.
Yeah. How's your like interference with other departments in games industry? Like, is there any? Are you like? I know there are always like interfering people. Like, let's say weapons are always with animation and VFX. But how's your from a lead perspective? Is there any like who's your main department? Who are you speaking with?
It depends when in production we are. Like now when we're in late in production, it's very much trying to finish everything, which is a lot of the gameplay features, like for like models for weapons, etc., are almost all are done. So what's left is helping out the environment for like set dressing, anything that's static that doesn't interfere with gameplay that much, like enriching the environment, that kind of stuff in the end of the production. Earlier on, it's more about talking to gameplay people about getting like early models on for them to try out things they wanted to try out.
Blockouts.
Blockouts, etc.
Yeah.
And also in that part, it's a lot of animation involved. So trying to get them on the same page if we're designing a new weapon, how it's supposed to be animated, what parts are gonna move, how the character's gonna hold them, and also we do a lot of cinematics for our games. So there we try we try to do a lot of blockouts early on for when they do shoots, like mocap shoots. They want to have things like, okay, it's gonna hold this thing, it's gonna be designed like this, so they want to have something that represent that in motion builder.
I see. Yeah. Especially Indiana Jones was lots of like cutscenes, and you even had a cutscene when you helped other people like going up a ledge or something. There was always like a short little cutscene where you can like see the whole character.
Yeah.
And okay, I can imagine. And especially with first person view, where you basically Indy holds lots of different stuff in his hands, and so you always need to like focus or design the props, especially for this like FPS.
Yeah, and that's where I think I put most of my when I'm the lead, I try to step back, try to see where we need to put the most effort, and that's where like first person stuff comes first. Making sure they are good. Like, I'm not saying story told props in environment is not as important, because they are important to make the story better. True. And the environment enriched. But for us, like, I know what takes time is the stuff that you hold in your hand and takes up a fifth of your screen.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I do weapons and yeah, sometimes props, so I know like how important the whole screen space is.
Yeah,
you fill up with the 3D models. Yeah,
and there's more departments that are dependent on you, like animation, VFX, etc.
Exactly.
So it needs to be communicated thoroughly.
Has there ever been like a point where you had to fight for a prop idea, where you felt like this would make so much sense, or this is like such a cool prop, we need to make that, but then you had like had a discussion with other departments and they were like, nah, maybe not. So has there been ever a point where you like made your point?
Yeah, and that goes back to, but that's what I've been told afterwards, that I might be too pushy. I get through with my idea of something.
Okay.
But I do remember from when I was at id. But at id I started out as a modeler, and then I ended up doing environments as well. But I remember it was a one level designer had made, I think it was the BFG, where you get the BFG. There were 3 identical rooms, and I took the liberty to change each room into a different kind of aesthetic to make it easier to navigate through the corridors. And I remember that became a big of a, he wasn't too fond of me doing those changes. But in the end, what's in was what I did. So I could have been better in communicating it, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. So let's speak about like your team. How many artists are in your team?
10. Or
10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 10.
Okay, they're all like props artists.
Yeah, but we have everyone can do, not everyone. We have this like some kind of split or / discipline. You have people who do weapons, and then you have people who do vehicles, and then you have people that do more of a general, that can be from helping out the environment, but also a lot of the set dressing inside of the,
I see.
The levels.
So what would you say makes a good team dynamic? Like, how do you keep your team together? How do you keep them motivated? How do you like make sure everyone is happy and loving what they do? You know what I mean?
Organic feedback, and that is super hard to get, especially if if you're spread out like in different rooms, etc., and personalities and such. So how it is now, I got to have my team at least in one room, which I prefer. But we have a bit different structure throughout the whole company. But I like when we can sit next to each other, just to get like this, a simple good morning or hi, that will eventually build up to a more personal. It's going to be easier for you to give feedback, and it's going to be easier for you to get feedback as well.
I've been like a huge fan of remote work for quite some time now, because I live here with my wife. I at the moment I never really planned to move, but that's something I really miss, sitting next to people and like speaking about art and looking at their screen, seeing what they are working on, discussing and bouncing around ideas.
Yeah.
So I guess that's also why you guys are not like doing remote work, right?
No, we do to some extent. We have some people that are. I have 2 on my team that does it, and it works very well. So it's very independent how well you manage that kind of work, but you won't get that like the close feedback. Like sometimes you just go by a screen and someone is doing something cool, you just want to stay and like ask how they did it, or just encourage them, which is, I think it's good. But yeah, the remote work has been hard to get the feedback going as good as it can.
Yeah, completely understandable. Like especially when you have a person that is like responsible for you, and you have like you hit the roadblock, and maybe you don't know how to proceed. You just hit you up, hey, I have this and this issue. How should I proceed? Like, I have this idea. Does it make any sense, right?
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. So, is there any other dynamic, or you spoke about organic feedback? Is there anything else you would see makes a good team dynamic?
Being humble.
Yeah.
I think it's good. Trying to, like, if you see someone struggle, try to reach out and help them.
Yeah, that's really important.
Yeah.
Not gatekeep as well. That's what I really learned. Like, share stuff and be open about help other people. That's super, super important.
Yeah.
Because especially you always want to make a cool game, right? You don't want to make your own stuff on yourself. Just we are a team, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
and then and also having people being curious. That can be very hard for people to, like, sometimes a lot of people think they might be like in the way of people when they ask like how you actually did that, or like they're afraid of asking people, especially more junior people asking higher ups. It can be very tough.
I see. Yeah. Not be afraid of like asking for feedback.
Because a lot of people, when they get asked, they are more than happy to help out. At least at our place.
Yeah, to be honest, it's always like, for me, it gives a good feeling to help out other people, like to share what I know, and it always helps to understand better what I do, right?
Yeah.
If you teach stuff, or if you do like small little tutorials, it always you kind of repeat it in your head, you explain it. Exactly. Yeah, it helps a lot. Yeah. So how was your approach to, like, or how has the prop art approach changed over the years? Like, would you say props are done differently 10 years ago, or is it like still the same? You have a block out, high poly, low poly, da.
Pretty much. Sure, there's some like Painter came, was it 2016? I remember.
So you worked 2011 at MachineGames, so I can imagine when you did the new order, there was no Painter.
No, it was all Photoshop. Yeah, which could be like for a lot of stuff that we did. So with IdTech, because that's the engine we were using or are using, or now it's called Motor. We have
Motor.
Motor.
Yeah.
But it's derived from IdTech, and we had Mega Texture at that time, which made, like, you didn't need to care that much about the texture resolution. What was prioritized was UV islands. Like, so if you had fewer UV islands, it was better, which sometimes made quirky like layouts, and that doesn't help in Photoshop. It's much easier now in Painter, where you don't have to care about what's up, what's down, etc.
True.
But the files could also be very big, because sometimes we did 4Ks, because the engine would take it and look at it and like, okay, this.
Really?
Yeah. So how that worked was, it like you could put whatever texture you want, how much texture resolution you want. What the engine did is that we had something called text load, which is pretty much the player area where the player could go, and then it threw out like rays of like identifying, okay, so this is gonna be that far from the screen, and then it decided it's gonna have this and then it made this whole mega texture vector.
Kind of like Nanite for textures in a way.
Yeah, it is venters, yeah, for sure. Virtual memory, blah blah. Yeah,
so
it is.
Did you do weapons then?
Well, all the dynamics were still They were not on mega texture, so they were done. They needed to be taken care as like a regular, like how we do it now, pretty much.
Okay.
But the whole world, the static stuff, everything was calculated.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was very fun to work with because you could do so much.
Can you like? Sorry for my outburst now, because I'm really interested. I Wolfenstein is one of my my most loved franchise of the whole world. I played the New Order like 1,000 times, and I'm really a big fan. But maybe you can give me a short rundown how you textured stuff in Photoshop, because from now you have like fill layers, you have masks, you have generators, you have all this like fancy workflow. But how did you start out? When like how was the approach?
Like the first thing you started out with was mostly there were no PBR at that time, so everything was kind of like diffuse light. So you built in shadows, etc. So you baked AO.
So you baked? You baked.
Oh yeah, we baked stuff for sure. We baked
in X normals or
no? We baked everything in Intech. So they had.
Oh, so you could bake.
Yeah. So one thing to make it go in 60 was that all of the models were using tangent bump, that's what we called it, which is, so all the models in New Order and Rage, etc., they were having just one normal, the vertices. So everything was fully shaded, like smooth shaded.
Ah, I see.
But Carmack had made a baker that could like, so if you had like a sharp edge, like a table, you usually get like the skewing. Like if you had a screw on this side and it's 180, it's gonna be skewed. But he had made a baker that made so it didn't skew at all. So we did all the baking in Intech for the normals. But then we used the Modo for like ambient occlusion, top-down light, cavities, etc. And then combining the cavities or like top-down and the ambient occlusion, pretty much like what you do now in Painter for masking. We did the same, but in Photoshop.
By hand.
Yeah, by hand. Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, and then you just like started. You how did you like go with the albedo colors? You just you also like did fill layers and then you masked them out with UV islands. Yeah. Did you by hand
or
then right?
Yeah. Or in the high poly, you put colors together.
ID maps.
Yeah, ID maps to mask stuff.
Okay, that's crazy. Like, would you say that the workflow was more tedious, or was it because with like the rising technology, you have more possibilities, and also like with more stuff that can go wrong, and you had like back then you had like the streamed workflow where you had like ba 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 ba, that's it. And now with with Marmoset to Substance Painter, and there are like many more hurdles that come across. Would you say it was easier, or
it was
would
harder.
you say now with
it's easier?
It was
now,
harder.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still the same method, kind of, but the tools are so much better to get your result quicker, which also gives you more time to have higher fidelity these days, I would say.
Yeah.
So, but it was harder for sure with Photoshop. It's not. It was still the same. It's still the same method, I would say.
Kind of. Basically.
Yeah.
Basically, it's now all in 3D and with
It was a bit.
You can cut around many corners.
It was a bit hard. Like I remember when we started with PBR in at Doom. That's when we PBR started to get in. And Painter was not there at the time, so it was still.
So Doom was also without Painter.
Yeah, or half through, I would say, was done without Painter. So
crazy. So, are there any trends or shifts that you would say that you are excited about, or maybe on the other side are even like worried about? They would see maybe like there's a decrease in quality, or there's like this could bump up the quality? Is there anything you would see in the future or currently coming?
On games in general, I think it's gonna be super tough for a lot of games to like compete with. I don't know. You have Roblox and you're gonna have Fortnite. What is it called? Unreal for Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
But well, with that, it's so
UEFN, right?
Yeah, Unreal Engine for
Yeah,
whatever. So the idea that they are providing a platform, and then the users are gonna create the content, like the game or the content, and you have so many people doing something that's gonna be a hit. To make a game that's gonna be popular at the time, and trying to make game that's gonna take 3 to 4 years that has like a unique gameplay niche. I think that's gonna be so hard because the games or the new gameplay that is coming out, it just goes faster and faster, and then having a developing cycle that is taking 3 to 4 years, that's gonna be it's gonna be tough. I think that's what happened with a lot of like survival extraction shooters. There was a good it was a good thing for 5 years ago, and then it takes 4 years to make them, and when they come out, they're obsolete. So I think that's gonna be tough for game. But then maybe that's I think we have niched is like story-driven, first-person shooters. Which is still gonna be. If it's a good story, that's still gonna matter. Movies are still here, and so on. But when it comes to art, if there's anything, I think we're gonna get better and better tools. You can do pretty much everything faster than what you could do like 10 years ago, especially when it comes to texturing.
True.
You have a lot of Substance have their libraries, Pixel or Quixel has their libraries of like PBR good materials. Before you used to have photo textures and try to combine them yourself.
You now have the like what I see really exciting, especially for smaller little props, is the bevel shader in Marmoset. We can maybe go around not building any high polys anymore and save some extra time, especially for small little props.
That we had in Modo for 12, 14 years. We had it since...
Oh, really?
Yeah, since New Order. That's what we did.
Oh, so you didn't build a high poly?
It depends. Most of the time we did, but sometimes, like if you needed something, you could just round an edge shader to like blend it better without destroying the geometry, for instance.
Nice. Okay. So let's speak about like the mixtures between technical and art. How do you balance like the visual fidelity with performance, and on the other side optimization? Like how do you make sure the weapon, the prop looks good, but it also is optimized and performant?
I look at I have to review things to make sure that there are, to me, common sense. I guess I can being in the industry that for a longer time, I might be conservative in terms of like poly count, texture, etc.
You have seen things, right?
Oh, I have seen things.
Can you name like? Can you give me a short little story? Is there anything you would? You still like joke about, and you say like, you remember back then this one prop where we did like
I don't want
this and that.
to hang out anyone, but there are stories that can be told for sure.
Okay,
but
sure.
Like I'm thinking one thing that you talked about, you doing the ZBrush method of like high poly and Boolean. I totally get it. And to me, when I first saw it, I was like, how and why do you do high polish in ZBrush. It just becomes so much denser meshes. But trying it out, I can see the benefit of it. It's super fast and super fun, especially super fun being in ZBrush.
It's
just,
super fun. It's you have like this whole alien of meshes, and then you hit a few buttons, and it's like tick 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 tick, and you have the final mesh with all the subtracted or added.
But I have to ask, have you tried, like, talking about these kind of stuff? Have you tried Medium or Adobe Substance Modeler? It's called now.
No, not yet. Did you try it out?
Yes, I've been trying to get it to work, like at work, for several years now. Like I would say it's what Apple did with the Touch for phones. It's this.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, I think this, to me, this is.
Is it intuitive?
It's so intuitive. It's to me, it's better than when Substance Painter came.
No way.
Yeah, so if
for modeling.
Yes, like it's so that. But the sad thing is that so many people, like, no one is picking it up because VR is not picking up. But the intuitive, like, you should see some of the stuff. Like I have a colleague of mine, Nicholas Court. He has some videos on his ArtStation, and then you have McNuggets. Has done like they do. He does videos pretty much every week where he shows, and it's like just seeing the video might tell you like how good it is, but then trying it out, being able to do in like actual 3D space of manipulate your model, it's so good.
Okay, you definitely need to send me the picture, the videos. I will put them in the show notes or show links or in the info box. That's really cool.
So if you get the chance, you should try it out. It's super intuitive and super fun.
But it's Adobe again, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Now I heard some of my colleagues, they are trying out Marmoset for texturing now because they wanna go away from Adobe. Marmoset is now, they are like expanding their software as well, like any other company.
Yeah, and that's part of the industry goes very fast.
True.
With the tech stuff, which is fun, and I think competition for the programs is good.
That's absolutely right. You see it with Blender, but I don't seem to like Autodesk is not really caring. But yeah, you see people like I heard so many people, they going away from these like big company softwares that are like just bloated and not doing anything or changing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope there will
Which is
be.
good.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah,
it's really good.
But I hope there will be some kind of open source, like what Blender is for 3D. But you need a texturing package. That would be so nice.
Oh yeah, like a Blender for textures.
Yeah, like Substance, like Painter. If there was an open source Painter, that would be nice.
Oh, with plugins, imagine.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. So, like, for example, I'm still missing that I can't do shortcuts for Substance Painter. Maybe there are there yet, but creating a new fill layer, creating a black mask with the shortcut, it's still not there. That's some stuff. Yeah, but they, yeah. What are you working in? Sorry.
I'm transitioning to Blender, but we were
okay.
Yeah, but Modo was. I come from Maya. So, but when we're at Starbase, we used Maya, and then when I came to we started MachineGames, it came with idTech, and Modo was it was very integrated into the engine, which it still is. So we had to learn Modo, and Modo is by far the best, like pure, like modeling tool. Like it's so clean and pure when it comes to manipulate your models.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
But it's very destructive, but it's very fast. So if you do something wrong, you can easily rebuild it in the way you want. So it's lacking some of the cool features that's coming up. And it hasn't evolved like in the last 15 years pretty much. So they actually decided to turn it off now. They're discontinuing it.
Oh, okay. Who owns Modo?
Luxology or Foundry, it's now.
Foundry.
They have
Okay,
Nuke and
I see.
modding. Yeah.
Nuke. Yeah. So how how do you stay inspired, Pontus? Like you have been in the industry for quite some time. How do have you hit the point where you did like creatively burn out and you were like, oh, games, I can't see them anymore, or how do you stay motivated?
It depends.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. It varies. Like you were talking about hotkeys. One time, we were trying to be as quick as possible in modeling, like hotkeying so much. I also had like this. I had this heat program on the screen, like so I could see where I actually were moving my mouse. So if I saw myself pulling out of the middle, I needed to hotkey that, and then we tried to
Yeah. Okay.
So that was
because you then.
So that was motivating to some degree, and then there was like learning new styles, like going into Doom, going to Quake, Wolfenstein, Indiana Jones, that kind of stuff, that pushes your, I guess, your toolbox in terms of art history, like the visual, like the style,
the visual understanding.
Yeah, exactly.
Art direction, kind of.
Yeah, and that usually comes in the beginning of a project, so it comes by default to some degree, which is fun. And then it's keeping motivating. It's like looking at new tools, looking at new pipelines, looking at other people's work, try to mimic like how they did a certain thing on a model or something. And then I think a lot of stuff is tech. Like I can see opportunities like in new tech, which is super fun. I'm not sure if that answer.
Yeah, that completely does. How was like the whole jump from an art direction perspective from, let's say, the Wolfenstein series over to Indiana Jones? Like Wolfenstein is completely fictional. It's not. It's always a bit over the top, but still realistic.
Yeah.
And Indiana Jones is like this fully realistic approach, historically not that accurate, but you try to be historically accurate as possible.
Yeah.
Art wise. So how was the jump there? Like did you have to see things differently, or was it easy for you?
Yeah, it was. The bigger struggle for me was that everything in Indiana Jones had to be much more historically correct. So it was a lot of
research.
Yeah, research and making sure they were like working in that time period. For Wolfenstein, it's been more. You can look at references, but you have more of a artistic freedom in terms of shape, language, and how it's gonna be built by materials, etc. So that was like the historical accuracy for Indiana Jones was to me a bit of a. It took more time than expected.
Yeah, because I'm currently writing an article about Wolfenstein, because I want to understand. I don't want to like understand, but I want to explain how you guys made a fictional universe that is on the one side like potentially realistic, but on the other side it's like super over the top and not in any way realistic at all. So I want to understand like. How do you have like an art Bible for Wolfenstein? Do you have like clear guidelines of what is possible and what not? So yeah, it's such a big topic for me because I really want to understand what is going on from an art direction at these games, you know?
Yeah, we had a creative director and art director.
Tor.
No, Axel Turovenius.
Axel.
Yeah, Tor is not at MachineGames anymore.
Oh, he is not.
No, he
wasn't.
No, he left after New Colossus. No, before New Colossus, I think. He has. Yeah, he founded his.
Axel.
Yeah, Axel. Yeah.
I always mix them up.
Yeah, because they
Axel.
Axtool, because they actually in Wolfenstein we have a company called Axtool, which is based on Axel and Tool. Yeah. But they for Indiana Jones he made an art Bible but he also had this thing there, like, would it fit into Temple of Doom or Raiders of the Lost Ark? Like,
Oh yeah.
that was a good like,
Yeah.
could this fit in those movies? Because those were the main references.
Which makes it easier for you guys because there is like the whole universe is already kind of built, and you can always ask the questions, right? Is it working in the movies? That's true. Yeah, I like what I liked about the Youngblood approach. You always had like this how's it called, this 80s aesthetics. How's I forgot the name. Like this the colors.
Oh yeah.
Synthwave. Yeah, that's the name. Yeah, you have this like this whole synthwave approach to the Wolfenstein universe. I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So when would you say like is a prop finished? Is it finished? Because as an artist you can always like do stuff on a prop.
Yeah. That's where it comes, I guess, with more seniority when you know when it's done or not done. But me as a lead, I try to look at like the whole thing, like looking at the bigger perspective, because what you said, like if you're just doing your prop, you might be going down into like a small corner and trying to like fix it, but then if you zoom out, maybe there's other things.
You will never see it.
You will never see it, or there's like people run through it in like
big issues.
Yeah. Exactly. So then you put a lot of time on things that won't be seen in the game. But you also have to, like, I know that it is very not meditative, but it's very fulfilling to finish off something like with a higher like quality, and like trying to have the artist be having the time to like finish it and do the extra thing for themselves. But you have to fight that with production schedules as well.
Oh yeah. There's always the fight. Because production wanna see stuff finished, and like artists wanna make a really good prop, or like make a perfect prop, right? You need to find a good baseline between these two.
And making sure approaches. That the prop is gonna be used. So I'm a big I like that doing, especially if it comes to set dressing, for instance, that you do block out or proxies that just have the shape. And just a flat color, or sometimes you can break up the colors if it's needed. But having a room, for instance, with just empty shells, then just putting props on them can make the room feel much more dense, which is what you kind of want to get. You want to get the feeling as soon as possible, not at the very late state. So you want to see. And I think that's where light and shape takes a lot of priority, which you can get very early with proxies.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give artists that are trying to get in the industry today, especially with the latest news and studios shutting down? Like, it's hard to stay to stay positive in these days, but games are still made, games are still played. There are lots of people in the industry. We are still like here. What advice, if you could give them one?
Try to be, I guess this is gonna sound counter-intuitive, because you should be niched. Like, you shouldn't do like characters, props, VFX, everything like that, unless you're actually aiming to be at a very indie studio where you have to do everything.
Yeah, like a generalist, right?
Yeah, exactly. But to get in one of the like bigger studios, you should showcase that you have a few good pieces that shows like good modeling, good texturing, good lighting. Like, the presentation is very key as well. Like, it has to be pleasing for me as a lead to look at the images, like, okay, this is something that I want to like deep dive into, and then I can scroll through. If it's just super plain, it won't like.
I see.
Yeah, it kind of gives also me a perception of your visual eye, like the eye, like because sometimes people, sometimes people just build the most awesome thing, and it's just straight from a concept that someone else did. But if they try to add like their own lighting, their own composition, etc., I can see that they actually have an eye for that, which is good.
I see. So you want to see like the depth or the artistic understanding inside the prop, or
yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, okay.
But also when it comes to performance or like tech, I also want to see sometimes. To me, it helps, especially if the topology. Just an image, like if I see that you have a good understanding of like good topology, polyflow, etc. So it's not just a dynameshed ZBrush model.
Hey, nanite.
Yeah. But then when you get into the industry, I think it's also it's good if you can be more of a generalist. That's why I meant it can't like you should be able to help out.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to 3D, it's not that different to do the 3D stuff that you do for environments or vehicles.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, polygons and textures. That's pretty much the same.
Yeah, that's true.
But for environment, sure, there will be more like you doing this vertex painting, blending, and that kind of stuff that goes more towards like terrain, vegetation, and like bigger scenes for sure. But in the base, it's pretty much the same. Polygons with UVs and textures.
As easy as it gets. Yeah. All right, Pontus. Thank you so much for your time.
Well,
thank you so much for making the time on the evening. I know you have children. Time's limited.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
It was fun.
Yeah. It's always cool to speak with people, especially also with leads like they have and especially people that have been in the industry for quite a longer time, because they have seen things, and I always want to hear these stories because I'm not in the industry for that long, and I can't imagine like a different approach to the whole thing.
No, but yeah, exactly. Like there's a lot of stories and a lot of trial and error. I think that is you should not be afraid of do errors or fail.
Yeah, that's true.
I've learned a lot from failing, and I even got like public shamed on the internal mails of doing like failed stuff. That it taught me stuff.
Okay, that's yeah. I can imagine. Yeah. Alrighty. You don't have a public portfolio, right?
No, I don't.
Okay. Yeah, I will post the videos we spoke about.
Yeah.
Maybe if you send them over, I will take care, make sure they are in the info box, and I wish you a nice evening. And
likewise. Thank you very much.
Take care.
You too.
Bye bye.
Bye.